Hey guys, we're watching Volgar's videos, and this is a little rant I got right here going on. A rant of the PlayStation 4. I'm sorry, but I'm kind of done with the video game thing anymore. I mean, of course I still play games, but I'm like, I've been hearing some people say that, oh, this is going to be the worst video game, this has been the worst generation, whatever, and it's like, well, you're just getting old, you know. Old fuck. You're just getting old, you know. To the kid, 14 years old, he's gonna think it's the best. Whatever. Anyways, oh yeah, I found this in a trailer. Plucky, you know, from Tiny Toons. Yeah, pretty awesome. Anyways, the PlayStation 4. It doesn't look very promising. When the PlayStation 3 came out, it was a big jump. I mean, a big difference. Like, you had a difference of blocky, a system that had no internal storage. I mean, it was pretty primitive at the time. However, it's still a great system. Don't get me wrong. It's all you need in a system to play games and maybe watch a movie. That's good. Unlike the Wii, it's like, play games, and what games are you gonna play? I don't know. Games came out on the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, and the GameCube. Oh wait, maybe 3 that came on the Wii. Anyways, so my rant's on the PS4. The PS4, it's gonna suck. I don't know how Sony's gonna be able to go on past the PS4. And why do I think this? Because when I saw the controller, my mind literally went like, you know, my mind just went like flush, and then I just went like face palm. I'm like, oh my god, they're really making not a comeback, not a like a rebuttal, you know, like a knockoff of the Wii U. That's what it reminds me of. I mean, this touchpad thing. It's so stupid in your controller, okay? This is the good controller. DualShock 2, okay? Now there's a little screen right here with a touch strip, and it's retarded. Like, what are you going to do with this touch strip? Oh, I'm going to look at my photos and flick my finger across the strip? Like, really? What? And not only is it stupid to have a touch strip in there, like, I could... You know, if they want to have a touch strip, I can see... If this was touch sensitive, like a strip, and the more you like wiggle your fingers underneath, fine, they can do that. But my problem with this is, if you look on the pictures, right here where it's supposed to say Sony, PlayStation, and your start select buttons, now it's just going to be a big black right plastered on there, and it looks so ugly. It looks like when you're at Walmart or Fred Meyer's someplace, and they had those little clamps on there so you can't rip off the controller. You know, it's clamped in, you know. So, yeah, covering the buttons, start select. Well, or not covering, but, you know, like, you know, big bracket right in the controller. It basically looks like that, and it's just, it looks like crap. Yeah. Basically, yeah, it looks like crap. Another thing I have a problem with is they're making an emphasis on sharing gameplay. Yeah, a lot of people will share their gameplay on YouTube. Okay, that's great and all, but you need to show this off in a press conference about your system. Nobody cares about this. They've been doing this for years. I mean, they didn't have it built into their system, but they took a camera, placed it in front of the screen, and hit record. Either that, or they had a screen capture dazzle device. But yeah, and so now you have your I think your start and select is down somewhere, and then your shared buttons up top here. It's like, we don't need any more buttons. The home button replacing the analog button, that's enough of a change for me. Okay, the one you get two things I've been paying for is the analog button, or the nub things. They're gonna be dipped down, and the D-pad looks better, but those are what the little good things that they threw in there, updating the analog and all that. But the touch strip, it's so pointless. At first I thought it was a screen. I thought right here is going to be a screen, so a normal gameplay would say Sony, PlayStation, or like a PS4 logo. And then when you're like, you could have like a video chat, you know, right there. Like basically a Wii U, only a normal size controller. I don't have any problem with the screen right there. Now, why would I be saying that? Now, okay, you have a problem with the touch strip, but you don't have this problem with the screen. Let me tell you something. A touch screen would be a lot more useful than a touch strip. I mean, seriously, touch strips? It's like so 2005 with like iPods and Creative Zens, you know. The iPod pretty much ditched the click wheel. Now it's just like, you know, touch controls. And, you know, with the shuffle, they got the headphone controls. Or no, they ditched that one. Now it's the back to the up, down, left, right circular thing. Anyways, yeah, the PS4, it looks pretty. My impression on the controller, you know, the controller says everything. When I saw the Wii U controller, I'm like, oh, okay. So, at least you have 4 surface buttons, or surface face, you know, you get your 4 main buttons, A, B, X, Y, or triangle, square, circle, X on the PlayStation. You know, at least you got that and another analog stick. With the original Wii system, you got your nunchuck and your Wiimote, and you just had standard. You had 1, 2, plus and minus. Like, none of these buttons say gaming. They say physical fitness toy. You know, it's stupid. Yeah. So at least that much is in a better direction. Oh, here's another stupid thing about the PS4. Unlike the PS3 that was wireless. Never mind this. I'm in the porch and the PS3's in the house. They were wireless. You didn't need a receiver to set it somewhere like the Nintendo, the Wii, you know, with a sensor bar. You had to set that up on the TV. It's not a big deal, but it's just something else to keep track of. Another cord to get tangled in things. Just another piece of crap that you don't need. Okay. And that's exactly what the PS4 is going to have now, a sensor bar. And they're like actually advertising this like, oh wow, and now we have a sensor bar because the controls out of the box, the controllers, are like a Move controller. I mean, they're more accurate. Like a 6-axis would only sense this and this. They didn't sense this or this, you know, like a Move controller. But who cares? When I'm going to play PlayStation, Sony, I want to play with buttons and analog sticks, not waving a controller. Now, some things with a controller can be kind of neat, like playing a mini game where you like chuck controllers at the screen. That can be kind of cool. But making dumbing down your experience so much where you have to introduce a piece of plastic that was introduced last generation. And I think they're ditching that. If they're not, they're still holding on to it because the Wii owners play Wii style games. I'm talking about the sensor bar. Anyways, the PS4, I'm not gonna buy it. You know, I don't have money, but I mean, my impression of it. It's not my impression with the PS3. When I saw the PS3, I'm like, holy shit, this thing looks awesome. You know, there's a crying baby in the corner. I don't know why. It's a tall building. It looks like a freaking building. It's got freaking 8 gigs of hard drive. It can play PS2 games. Well, the original one did. It was shiny. We didn't even see the system. We didn't know what it looks like. The PS4. We don't even know what it looks like. But the PS3, when I saw it, was like it was amazing. It was a big, huge jump. I mean, because when the PS2 came out, people say it's so much better than GameCube. The library, yes, but the graphics, not really. It's not that much better than the GameCube. Just more developers wanted to develop for the simple PS2 that used DVDs instead of the tiny discs, and it was harder. I don't know. Whatever. They made more games for the PS2, and plus they had more controls. You know, with the analog sticks that go in and the extra shoulder button. Basically, when the PS3 came out, I'm like, holy shit, this is like a big deal. This is, you know, big change. The PS1, the PS2 was the only big difference was the graphics. It still was just okay, and the DVD player thrown in. But, it wasn't that big a deal. Because at the time it was a big deal, but it wasn't that much extra. But the PS4 actually has like a UI. You can go tink, 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 different menus, games, music. But we don't know what special thing the PS4 will do except for share, game, play recordings. And I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty freaking lame. I mean, this is what I want from the PS4. Since this video is on the final minute. The PS4, I'd like to see a terabyte hard drive standard. Since, it's supposed to be the system to end all systems, so a terabyte. Is that so much to ask? If it is, really, I'm not even asking for solid state. Just a terabyte. Because the PlayStation 3, in my opinion, is way more about the media, media, music, and video games. Music, video, and games. That they include the hard drive, and it was always bigger than 360. So a terabyte hard drive would be cool. In the box, wouldn't this be badass if it came with a Blu-ray controller, like for movies? If you want to use this, if not primarily, but you want to use it for watching movies and surfing the web. So it came with a controller. It was like remote, So it wouldn't be as wonky as this, and then you bump a button and you fast forward, Who does that? Who wants to do that? So if they just made that sacrifice and tossed in a $10 remote and to every PS4, I think that would be kind of nice. Also, if they ditched the original idea of having a touch strip on top of the controller. That's stupid. That's garbage. Nobody wants that. Nobody cares about touch controls. But if it had a little screen where you could see... So, Buttmunch wants to play Call of Duty 5 with you. Do you want to accept? Yes. And then you wouldn't have anything interfering with your screen up here on your TV. It would be all on here. That would drive up the price of the controller, but really, a little like 1.5 inch LCD, that should be pretty cheap by today's standards. They use those in Kobe MP3 players for $15. Come on, it should be doable. It's not a freaking like 5-inch Wii U tablet thing. That's overkill. But with the Wii, I could see it could work since I love DS games. The Extreme, pretty cool. Another thing I want to see from the PS4 is basically a Roku, I want it to be advertised as a streaming system out of the box. Out of the box you get Roku, Netflix, all that, and with the controller. So I basically covered that with the controller as my number 2. So number 3, I don't really know. How about a good price? Oh, I know. How about be backwards compatible with PS3? But since they say that's not going to happen, then I've been hearing rumors that they want to make it backwards compatible with cloud emulation, so it plays off a server, and you have to be hooked up to the internet to play like a PS2 game. They're going to play it on emulation, and I don't know, whatever. I would like actual backwards compatibility. I could see not being PS2 backwards compatibility, PS2 backwards compatible, because that was a long time ago, and you should have a PS2. But at the same time, PS2s in general aren't really that reliable. This one I got for $5 Goodwill. Yeah, I know, I'm a cheap ass. It's $5 Goodwill, but still, it was a nice PS2. I bought it, and it played. I thought it played all PS2 games, but it did play Hot Shots 2. It played that. My brother's PS2 won't play any PS1 game. It won't play any purple game. Only PS2 standard, newer games. That. If it's purple, it won't play it at all. This one, I couldn't get to play any purple games today. It did play a PS1 game. So, it is nice PS3s play PS1 games, but why can't the PS4 play PS2, 3, and 4 games? Play them all. I think that would be a feature all in itself. If the PS4 would play all PlayStation games with no problems. I don't even need more graphics or a new UI would be kind of nice because it wouldn't be that big of it wouldn't be that difficult to do. You know, just a new UI. You know, like XP to Windows 7 difference, or you know, I mean, just another UI. But in terms of the graphics and the power, I'm fine with the power it has. But the new one will be more powerful. But I don't know about you, but I think it would sell a lot better if it played PS2 games, because PS2s, I love them, but they're pretty shitty. They're pretty junk. This one doesn't play purple PS2 games. I've got my brother. This one right there. My brother's only plays a few like basically the one type of game. I've got a Slim that plays nothing. I have another Slim that plays everything. I have another Slim or another fat one that doesn't play anything. And yeah, I think I have 6 or 7 PS2s. Or at least I did. I might have gotten rid of a couple. I don't know. But my point is, PS2s, they're an awesome system, but they don't last. The lens always goes out or something. Basically, they quit playing the games. And the PS4 played PS2 games. And whatever, I don't know if emulation really matters, but if it plays good, I can't really notice the difference. That's fine by me. Whatever. But yeah, that'd be a good enough upgrade for me if it was just pretty much the same. If it was a PS3 with like better graphics, more internal storage. I don't really know if it really needs that big a difference. Just PS2 and backwards compatibility. If you know PS4 games, that's fine and dandy. It's fantastic. It's still gonna use Blu-ray discs, but it would sell so much better if it had backwards compatibility. Especially, I don't know about you guys, but the way the economy is, is anybody really looking forward to a new system that does not play PS3 games? Like, oh wow, look at all these like 30 games I just bought. Not just bought, but the years accumulation. 30 games I got, and now I can't play them. So now I gotta keep the PS3 and the PS4, and I don't have a PS3 that plays PS2 games because I wasn't one of the rich bastards back in 2006 to buy it brand new, or buy it later when it was still expensive, and they still occasionally have the yellow light of death problem. Unlike the slim PS3s, they don't have any problems as far as I'm aware of. Yeah, I got mine for $200, and I got probably 18 games. I think maybe it's something like that. 18, I think. But yeah, definitely the PS4. If it wants to succeed, it's gotta. If it really wants to succeed, ditch the touch strip, put in a little screen right there. I think that'd be a good idea. Make it backwards compatible. If at least PS3. To not be able to go backwards compatible, I mean, I hear people say, oh, well, unlike back in the day, things are more complex, make backwards compatible. Bullshit. It's not like you have a physical cartridge that's like a completely different style, and like they're like completely different, don't fit in the slot. No, everything is like data. I'm pretty sure you can make it, make it work. Come on, seriously, really. If they made mostly Xbox games to compete with 360, I mean not compete, but to work with the 360, I'm sure they get to work. If they say, oh, it's too new and it's too complex to make because of different processors or different parts or whatever, that's a load of bull. I'm sure there's a way to make a PS4 play PS3 games. without making it insanely expensive, because we don't want another 2006 fiasco again where the PS3 all over again, where the system was $500 for the cheap one that only has a 20, I think it was a 20 gigabyte hard drive, or the expensive one that was $600 for the 80 gigabyte hard drive. Maybe it wasn't. I think maybe it was 40 and 80. I can't remember but I know they need to think about what they're doing, because if all they're doing is better graphics, but really how much better graphics you really need, I don't know how much more power you really need. But if they really expect to put a touch chip on the controller, the share button to share your recordings of your gameplay, then wow, you can have someone remotely take over your gameplay and beat the level for you. I don't know about you, but nobody's gonna want to do that. At least nobody would do it for me. I don't know. Maybe you'd be lucky. But yeah, I think the PS4 is gonna be a complete flop if they don't make it backwards compatible. At least play PS3 games. And you know what? They should still be making PS2s, because all the PS2s that were previously made, they've got problems. The Slims have problems, the Fats have problems, all PlayStation 2s have problems. But this video's gone way long enough, so see you next time.